I am with you.
Oh, that's good. All right, we are 1 minute past 11, and I think we can start. Uh, Welcome, everyone. So nice to see so many of you here today. My name is Lova, and I'm coming to you right from my kitchen. I have a sick son somewhere in the background, so we'll see how this goes. But I told him and the father to stay away, so we'll see. Uh, Today we're gonna talk about the Citizen app, or oh my God, I'm gonna try to say this in Danish. I hope I don't offend anyone, but in Indbyggerappen, perhaps. We are coming to Denmark, and we're very happy to introduce our solution to you guys. Uh, if you want to switch presentation slide, Berte. So just a few practical things before we get started with today's subject. We are in Zoom today, and if you want to see more of us, I think you can drag. You see there's like a little um, divider between the presentation and the video. Now we have trying something new today. We have Bjarte in front of the presentation. So you're a bit of a test audience to see if this works well. Uh, so if Bjarte is covering the presentation or something, you can just ask him to duck, and you can do that in the in the chat. Uh, and in the chat, you can see that when you click the little icon in the bottom of the screen that says chat, you can send a message either only to us if you choose participants, no, hosts and panelists, I think it says, in a little like blue drop-down menu, or you can choose to send it to everyone. So if you want to and help us out a bit, you can send us a hello message or tell us where in Denmark or in the world you're sitting right now. So I'm in Järpen and Bjarte is in Stockholm. So yeah, if you want to just try to chat out so we can see that it works, that will be very beneficial to us, just to see that everything is going as it should. I think that's the practical parts. Bjarte, have I missed anything we should take in the beginning?
I don't think so.
Good.
I think it's
Uh,
good.
yeah, and just to give a brief presentation of us, my name is Lova Lekaregraf, and I work at, oh, Åland is with us. Hello, and Riga. Very nice. I'm Lova, as I said. I work from Järpen, which is a very small village. If anyone has been skiing in Sweden in Åre, you might know where in the country I'm located. I work with most of our Swedish projects for the municipality citizen apps. We will talk a bit more about which later on when we talk about cases. And with me, I have Bjarte Falk Olsen, and you can present yourself and also Innocode.
Thank you, Lova. My name is Bjarte. As Lova is saying, I am located in Stockholm, Sweden. I am actually from Bergen in Norway, but I've lived here in Stockholm for many years, so I partly consider myself Swedish at this time. Innocode is this suits Innocode pretty well because Innocode is a Nordic Ukrainian company. We started off more than 10 years ago in Norway, but I started the Swedish part of Innocode about 5 years ago, and currently we work as one company across these nations, you could say. We have most of our technical teams in Lviv in Western Ukraine, and we work, as you see here today, pretty remotely. We travel a bit, we meet our clients, and we also have offices in Oslo, Stockholm, and Lviv. We work with these products that we're going to talk about today, and we also work with local media publishers for products. And most of our products, They work from the concept of community communication, and we're going to go into that a little bit more. What do we mean with this? But today we're going to focus on the international approach of something that we've been doing in Norway and Sweden for about 5 years, what we call the citizen app, or in Denmark, the Indbyggerappen. And this, of course, we're going to start in the strategic end of this, and then we're going to move into more sort of practical product focus within these 45 minutes that we've scheduled today. From a strategic standpoint, for the cities in Europe and in the Nordics and the world, I would say, we do have some issues with public sector communication, I think. We're going to dive into some of them, not everything, in this order that you see in the bullets here. First of all, Lova, you have to stop me here because you know this is a topic that I'm quite engaged in. First of all, I find it very curious that public sector and local governments in Europe for many years, when you ask them, how do you reach your audience? The answer that you get back quite often is through Facebook. I find it very interesting, to say the least, that this has been the angle, the strategic angle for more than 10 years, that we trust a third-party player with a content commercial perspective on things, with a spoken policy of wanting to make money on what content is presented on the platform, that we as public sector can trust this channel as our main channel to the audience. This has been debated in Norway and Sweden a lot the last couple of years. A bit too late, in my opinion, but at least it is on the agenda now, and we are getting the feeling, we are getting the proof from many municipalities and cities that we're not really comfortable with this anymore, to be honest. And this has a lot of reasons behind it. One of them is the commercial side of things. A newspaper in Sweden called Dagens Samhälle, a niche newspaper focusing on sort of politics and societal questions, really. Did some articles this fall, focusing on what kind of money do Swedish municipalities put into boosting content on Facebook. And on the top of the list was Uppsala, putting more than 1.6 million Swedish kroner into Meta's environments every year. And of course, this meets some reactions because it is money that is not only leaving the country, but it is going into a platform that is more and more sort of questioned, together with news that Facebook does little and nothing to stop sort of fake ads and stuff like that. This mixture of public sector trusting the channel and all these other news items makes it something that goes on higher and higher up on the agenda. And we do have clients and partners in the municipal world in Norway, Sweden, saying, okay, we're establishing our own channels to be able to leave Meta in a while. This is the goal of this process. So, first strategic bullet point, credibility of the channel. I think it's quite important to discuss.
Yeah, and I
Second,
just wanna, sorry, Bjarte, I just wanted to add also like something that I hear as a point of contact with our client is like the expectancy of the citizen, that they have to be in Meta or these social channels to be able to get the outreaching communication from the municipality. And then a new thing that came up very recently is the Meta's ban on political content in the ads and also in the organic reach. I heard that ads for breast cancer screening in Sweden is counted as political content, and those ads has been stopped. So it's also a channel that is getting increasingly hard to be in as a official or public municipality kind of channel. Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you, Luba. Yes. As for strategic entry point number two, what we sometimes refer to as local invisibility, local digital invisibility. This is something that we see in our local areas of Sweden and Norway. We have this sort of digital presence of big players. For example, when it comes to events and such, most people living around in different places in Sweden are going to know more about what happens in Stockholm in the big arenas than they're going to know about what happens in their local sort of community when it comes to cultural life. And the reason behind this is, of course, that most of the digital platforms are commercially driven. So that means Strawberry Arena, the big arena in Stockholm, is going to have a bit more money to put into visibility than the local cultural institution. So that means we end up in a situation where locally we have a lot of local small players that do stuff for the local community, sports, culture, libraries, all these organizations. They have very small, very narrow local digital channels. They probably have a Facebook page with 100 followers, yeah. And all these players, they publish their stuff on small channels that are only visible to their followers, and hence the engagement and the visits to their events is quite small because it's that people don't know. So if you don't know, it's hard to engage. And what we're trying to do here with our solutions is to pull all the power of these small digital channels, pull it into one place to aggregate the power of these channels so that you create one bigger, one more powerful channel locally that can actually gain visibility. So this was based on a survey that we did a couple of years back where we asked people in Norway and Sweden, do you think it's important to know what's going on in your area? Yeah, most people do, almost 70%. And do you find it simple to get an overview of this, over local events, political decisions? No, it is not easy. And it's quite a simple task, really, because it's just to sort of merge it together and then you create an overview. But most communities don't really succeed in this, actually. And third bullet point, stop me, Luva, if there's anything you want to comment on.
I will.
Third strategic entry point, public sector. Do we want to be part of our citizens' life? It's a rhetorical question. Yes, of course we do. But do we really try? We see that much sort of public sector communication is based on what we would call in our world inbound channels, putting the responsibility of getting to the information with the recipient. So we build a web, we build a lot of content on this web, and we wait for the citizen to visit, to search for, to cover their needs. Yeah. So very little responsibility is put with the sender. If it is, it's going through these sort of these third-party channels like Facebook and so, and we have the algorithms to stop it on the way. So we see by surveys that the average citizen in the Nordics visit a municipal website 1 to 2 times a year. So that's the relationship. We see with those municipalities, about 50 of them in Nordics now using an app. We see that they have usage of the app 2 to 4 times a month with their app downloads. So that means you do create a completely different sort of interface with the citizen that you can use both in critical situations, preparedness and such, but even in the everyday life. And I think this is something that most municipalities work with to sort of increase local engagement and participation. But it is, of course, quite hard to engage when you don't know what's going on locally, of course. So this sort of melts into each other, doesn't it? And then strategically, that's top of mind for most of us at the moment. The last year, two, this issue has become more and more prominent with most local governments. Preparedness, when something out of the ordinary happens, do you actually have a strong channel to reach your citizens now? Because with Facebook, you're not going to reach them now. You're going to put something on your Facebook page, it's going to go through the algorithms, and it's going to be shown to the citizen tomorrow or on Friday or even on Saturday in sometimes. And Facebook would want you to put money on that post to be able to show it to your recipients. So you don't really have a direct channel. And then you have other channels, you have SMS and stuff, but we see this sort of preparedness communication as a scale, not only the sort of the worst case scenario, war and big crisis and such, but the whole sort of scale of preparedness that we need to be able to communicate proactively with our citizens to build this sort of knowledge on the way. Simple things like this example, this was in Botkyrka outside of Stockholm a few years back. There was a fire in the garbage station, the garbage yeah, and there were poisonous smoke spreading in the local community, but the municipality had no way of informing. They had to go through local newspapers. They had to go through third-party channels to be able to talk to their citizens about closing their windows, about not going outside. These sort of simple things, really. But we don't have the channel. And to be able to have a channel when something really bad happens, we need to plan for this, I think. So that was strategy. We're moving into what we try to build to solve this in a way. And as you may know, what we have built is a, a backend, a content management tool for building an app, really. The cornerstones of the platform is personalization, quite simple, not based on AI, not based on algorithms yet. We want to try to avoid this algorithm thing because we do believe that people know what they want, and we want a more direct line to the exact needs in the community. So that means we have a pretty basic self-segmentation where you can say, okay, I live in this part of the community. I am a family with children. I am an elderly person, and tell us something when you onboard the app about your needs. We build it on an always updated idea so that we do not create unique content for the app. Most of the content in these apps are created in current content tools, web, social media, external websites, and so on, and is synced into this environment automatically. We know that the cities and the municipalities do not want another channel to create unique content for. So our job here is to aggregate and to facilitate relevant content more so than creating new content, really. We know that community events is an important problem to try to solve. I mentioned it before. People do not know what's going on in their local small cultural institutions. How are they supposed to know? If I live 500 meters from the local library, I have a 6-year-old. They do children's readings at the library once a month. I never know when it's on because the expectation is that I'm going to go to this calendar and then look it up every Friday before the weekend. And we do have other things to think about. So if we can turn that around and I could get a push notification from my local library every Friday saying tomorrow's the children's readings, I would probably be able to engage in this thing, but I don't know about it. And that brings us into the push tool. Being an app, this is different from a web, of course, because we can utilize the native functionalities of the phones. We can push stuff to our recipients, and we can push them broadly to everyone that has the app, or through these segments that we mentioned. So those who live there, or those who have children, or those who are elderly people, or whatever kind of target groups we create. The same sort of idea. We have a tool called Community, and we build this sort of community news channel, so we can offer the organizations or even the local municipal services. We can offer them a publishing tool where they can communicate with tiny target groups in the community. And this is what the platform is all about, to create this sort of tiny target group relevance, really, where you have classic municipal communication is broad. It's a website where you click to find your stuff. We try to facilitate the outbound communication based on your actual needs. So if I tell the app that I live in this area and I'm an elderly person and I'm maybe interested in what happens in the senior center in my part of town, then we can push the news. So we push the news on okay, today's lunch at the senior center, and today we're playing cards at 5. It's very small stuff. It's very narrow, and it's very, very relevant. And that's how we create a relevant dialogue with our citizens, not through the latest news from the sort of central administration. Yeah. We need to cater to their needs, really. And then, of course, we're going to look at some examples. Data integrations are a pretty big and important part of this platform too, because we know there's data there that's relevant to the citizen, but we need to facilitate and show it to them. So we'll look into that.
We got a question, how hard is it to integrate like services, digital services into the app? Is it a lot of development work?
We try not to
Yeah.
make it too heavy. That's the answer. Typically, what you want to integrate would be okay to push notifications on tomorrow at Tuesday that your garbage is being picked up. That kind of municipal stuff, yeah.
Mm.
And that's pretty easy. We have an open push API, so usually we can integrate with these kind of backend services quite easily to make that communication. We have also built what we call data tiles that can show up visualizations of data based on an AI interpretation. So we can send our AI engine to a website, and then we can scrape the information and visualize it in the app. So yeah, it's not usually quite simple projects to actually get the data you want into this environment.
Yeah, and I also think like in terms of like the standard digital services that municipality has on their web, for example, like I don't know, school applications and everything, we integrate that very easily. It's like if you have it on the web, we can add it within a few minutes into the app. So it's no big integration project usually. If you have a web source, then you can have it in the app. I can see, Erika, you have your hand raised. If you can ask your question in the chat, that would be great. Then we can continue with the presentation, Björte.
Thank you. Okay. Oh, this slide has moved along, hasn't it? I'm going to get back to this one. I see that I probably need to speed things up a little bit, so I'm going to do this pretty quickly. But case strategically, to have an app in public sector is quite often it means one simple thing. It means having what in Denmark would be called a givet app. So that's an error reporting app. This is something that most municipalities in Denmark and in other countries too have. So that's really an app to report stuff, a hole in the street or a tree across the road or something in the public sort of physical areas. Yeah. I like this example because I live in Stockholm, and I think their strategic approach to this is a disaster. I hope there's no one from Stockholm at the moment. But the city of Stockholm has about 6 apps in App Store. One for school, one for parking, one for Tyck till, which is report an error or give it try. One for the museums, one for air quality. And if you know your phone, you know that if you have an app installed and it's not being used within 4 or 6 weeks, it's probably going to be offloaded due to the lack of space in your phone. So that means most of these one service apps, they're going to be offloaded after one-time use, and then you have no native functionality, nothing left. it's just like a shadow of the app, really. In the app. So when you're considering app as a channel, you need to think, okay, we need to create an environment with so much value and so frequent value that it's going to be used at least once or twice a month. If not, build it on the web, I would say. Don't build an app for one service stuff because it's not gonna stay in people's phones, so it's gonna disappear. And you're not utilizing the basic native functionality of the phones, which is to push the sort of the native add-ons. You're only putting in a web form in an app. So I think. On the other hand, one of the most common tools that are in app form is the Tyktil, and it's a really the Give It Pie model, and it's a really good starting point to actually start building communication because you can, based on the incoming errands from your citizens, you can start building proactive and time-sensitive communication. So it's a good starting point, and this is what we do with several projects in the Stockholm region just now. Actually, we're sort of starting from their error reporting tool, replacing it with our tool, and then building layers of communication on this one, which is quite interesting in a way. We have some other cases very quickly. Oslo, we have an app with Oslo called Min Bydel, My District. Again, we want to move from this sort of big city thinking to the local areas. We want to present the local content, local events, local everything. So you get to choose what part of the city you live in, and then we build engagement and local sort of experiences from there. It's quite an interesting case, I think. Sandefjord was one of the first municipalities that started with this. It's about 4 or 5 years ago. They have been building this long term. This is on the east coast of Norway. They have about 70,000 citizens. They have about 40,000 downloads and users of the app. So they reach more than 50% of their households through this channel. And that means they can, in 5 minutes, send a push notification and ask a question and they do this quite frequently and ask a question about, okay, we're doing this project in your part of town. We would like your feedback. We would like your dialogue. We would like your input on this. And this is something most local governments wants to do, but the problem is quite often the sort of the last, not the last mile, but the last centimeter to the citizen, really, because you build these sort of citizen dialogue tools and Decidim or whatever it's called, and then they're just becoming islands online that don't really reach the end user. So I think this is Sandefjord has been doing a great job really these years with this project. Södertälje is one of our clients here near Stockholm that have been utilizing data quite a lot to build these environments and to build loyalty to these environments, showing traffic. How's the traffic to Stockholm? It's about 20K drive to Stockholm. How's the typically sort of a commuter perspective on things with transport, weather, public transport, and so on. Quite efficient, actually, and no editorial work to keep this updated, really, because it's really data driven, you could say. Västerås is also about an hour from Stockholm. 150,000 inhabitants. They've been working with their app since launch for about 12, 14 months now, about 30,000 downloads. And already there, after 12 months, they have a much stronger channel to reach a big portion of their citizens, which is, of course, what you want. You want to be able to reach your citizens. And then it's not everyone. It's only, you could say, 20% or 25% of their citizens, but it's a starting point. We need to build this in a longer term perspective, really. I'm just going to explain briefly. Now we're getting into nitty-gritty, but since we're talking to the Danish audience mainly today, I see that we have people from other countries too, and we're happy about that. But just to explain the difference between these apps that I have been mentioning now, Västerås and so on, these are what we call white-label apps. So we're, as a provider, totally invisible in this, of course. You build an app based on your city's name and branding and everything. You publish it from your city's accounts in App Store, Google Play, and so on, so that you're completely the owner of everything here. The advantage of this would be that the day that you don't want to utilize Innocode's app framework anymore, you could exchange the app and still keep your downloads. You just do an update of the app, it's called, from App Store, so that you can keep you own your downloads. The other solution to building an app like this is our shared environments. And we have launched this in Norway, Sweden, and we have launched the Danish version of the shared environment in Denmark. It is an App Store, Google Play called Indbyggerappen, as you know. And this is where we're at with Denmark. We're at a starting point. We want to add pilot clients to this shared environment, and we want to give you hopefully what you think is a good offering for that, so that we can build this shared app interface. And the content possibilities is exactly the same in a Whitelabel and in a shared environment. The shared environment, of course, being more cost efficient, really. We don't have to set up new apps. We don't have to do all the project work. We can really get you live there within a couple of hours, to be honest, because we do it from our backend. And so this is the shared environment in Sweden. These images are from. So just to show that for now we've onboarded, I think, 15 Swedish client municipalities on this, and about the same in Norway. So we're seeing that this takes away some sort of thresholds on the project side. It doesn't make it as big, and cost-wise, it's of course also more efficient. Typically,
Sorry, Bjarte.
yeah,
We had a
sure.
question. If you start with a shared app, how hard, or is it like lost work if you want to do a white label app later on?
Content-wise, it's not, because we can easily move a content backend instance to whatever app we want. You could say it's lost work in terms of downloads, though, because if we get downloads on the shared environment and you want to launch your own app later, it's hard. The downloads on the first app would be in our account, and you would want to establish a new one in your own account.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
yeah, yes and no. But content-wise, you could easily plug this content into whatever of our
Yeah,
apps
and
if
you
it's
could
white
also
label.
use the downloads from the shared app to push out that you have a new channel, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
lost but
yeah,
also
yeah.
not lost. Yeah,
So you build a strong channel, and this is yeah. So download the new app here, and that usually gives good results. So
yeah. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. And so for Denmark, I think especially this, I know that many Danish municipalities do have this Give a Try up from Sweco, I think. And we're partnering up with Sweco to sort of try to evolve this thinking, meaning this is a good starting point to really build a new communication channel. If you have this interface that has some sort of loyalty, and then you could replace it with a communication app, and then you start building from all these sort of perspectives that we have been mentioning today. I mean, local physical data, traffic, and such is of course a very good complement to these sort of error reporting tools, because it's often roads or it's something, physically in the environment that we report on. So yeah, so it does take some work to build your own channel. Of course, it's not done overnight, but we do see results where our local governments do have a much stronger relationship on everything from sort of municipal services, garbage pickup, to the softer values such as music and culture. We do see a different level of engagement on these local governments when you actually just build that last centimeter of communication to your citizens. All right, so to the concrete stuff with Denmark, we are the shared environment in Innbyggerappen is already in App Store. You can download it. We have one pilot client, Halsnæs Kommune, already on board with some very simplified content at the moment, but they do have some content in there, and they are expecting to expand their scope after New Year's. Just waiting for internal confirmations, really. What we want to try to achieve is to get some more pilot clients on board. We would like to see that happening before New Year's, really, so that we can get a proof of concept for these environments, even in the Danish market. That means we're offering first 3 months without any cost at all, without any formal obligations, really, just to try to get in dialogue and to get the experiences of the Danish market, really. So these are the terms. First 3 months without a cost, and then we discount costs 50% forever for those who are eager to get into this from the beginning. That's the basic terms. We are in dialogue with quite a few Danish municipalities. Some of you are here today, I think, and we're hoping to move this along pretty quickly. Yeah.
We got
Luva,
a
yeah.
question. So how much time would this take to set up the MVP version of the application with data integration from internal system, push notifications, and citizen engagement sections? Just in broad terms, for setting up in the shared version, as long as you know what type of content you want to have in the app, usually we are up and running within a week. I would say even less if you're talking about just adding it to the app. I would be able to help you within a day. But the long how do you say, the things that takes most time is usually figuring out what content you want to have in the app. And in terms of MVP versions, just adding like the push tool is part of the basic setup, so that's from day one. In terms of data integration, we would have to know exactly what kind of data it is, but usually it's, as I said before, if you have a web version, it's very fast. And we also have the new solution with data tiles, which is in kind of a beta testing mode right now. So it would have to be tested out to see that it works properly. But yeah, it's I would say for the shared app, 1 week. And if you're talking about Whitelabel, that is a bit longer project, then we would have to be, as we said, you have to have developing accounts in Apple and in Google Play. And also it's usually more work to get the whole municipality on board on what you're promising with the app, since it's in your name specifically. So those projects from start to finish usually take about a month, but that is with some padding time as well to make sure that we have time to set up accounts and make sure that everyone is on board. But yeah, for the app that we're talking about here, the shared Innbyggerappen, I would say you would be up and running within a week.
Yeah, and I see this question is actually from Sandra in Riga, so it's
Yeah.
probably a white label solution that would be most relevant at the moment. Yeah, and also for bigger cities. I mean, usually bigger cities tend to go for this white label because they
Yeah.
want to build a bit stronger identity on their own app, and maybe smaller municipalities tend to go for the shared versions because of the resources and such, of course. So yeah.
I also
Great.
had a question about how much resources takes internally from the municipality to maintain the app. And I would say that differs a bit as well. I know for Västerås, which is one of the cases we talked about today, they have a person, or they have a team, and they talked to us about this last week, and they say that within the whole team, they will say it's how do you say, a 50% role that is spread out on different people. But then you have like the small municipalities when everything is automated, and I would say they maximum put in 1 hour a month, maybe just to check it out that things are
Mm,
working.
mm,
So that differs a lot, I would say.
mm.
Mm.
The basic idea is that most of the content, I would say 95% of the content is going to be aggregated from other channels so that
Yeah.
it's not about creating new content. Then, of course, you need to be prepared to use the abilities of a new channel to work manually with push notifications and such. But the basic idea is that this piano is going to play itself in a way once you add the data into it. So yeah.
Mm. And as you say, Bjarte, what Västerås does and that they do very well is that they put time into making a lot of manual pushes. They make sure that they talk to the team and see what they want to talk about. And they also put it in the hands of the service desk, or how do you say that in English? Contact center.
Mm, mm, mm.
So if they get reports of a tree over the road somewhere, they make sure that they send out a push notification to not get 30 new calls about the same tree. So yeah, so they put in manual work, but they also see good results from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you have any more slides, Berta?
Actually, I just wanted to skip back because I skipped past the slide. I would like to mention this.
Oh
This
yeah.
in context of preparedness and stuff. This is what we're developing currently, and just to say, we are working with about 50 municipalities today, and our roadmap is always sort of built in based on their needs and their initiatives, really. And this initiative comes from Västerås, and it is based on a preparedness idea that, okay, we are an online society, but sometimes the internet is going to fail us. And we see that now with the storm Amy in Norway a month or two back. Some areas of Norway were without mobile internet for 3 to 5 days, actually. So it doesn't have to be war situations. So what we've done together with Västerås and with our developers in Ukraine is based on their experiences from times of crisis, based on their experiences from war. We put together this offline functionality where you can actually add content to the app that is available even if you're not online, and it's syncing with some sort of offline source in the municipality. So you add some content here, and we make sure it's updated in the app. That means the day the internet is down, we can offer some guidance to our citizens, meaning maps of shelters, meaning maps of water stations, meaning what do you do in terms of crisis. This is usually stuff that goes out on paper. I think at least for Swedish municipality, it goes out once a year. The brochure when the crisis hits you. That brochure, I'm sure you've been working on that, and we put it in a place where we know people find it in their phones, because people usually find their phones, but they usually don't find printed material. That's how I work, at least. So this is launching before New Year's, maybe, or as soon as possible, really.
Yeah, it's in the works, and it will be
Yeah,
launched with Västerås first, but be rolled out later on to
yeah,
our other white label clients
yeah.
first. Yeah,
Okay.
and I think we are closing up. And if you want to talk more about this stuff, you can talk to me or Bjarte or Morten. We will also send out a recorded version of this webinar to anyone who has been signed up for it, if you want to share it with anyone else. And if you talk Swedish, you can listen to a webinar, or if you understand Swedish, maybe you can listen to a webinar from together with Västerås next week on the 18th. They will be talking more